I know expectations were high, but it kind of makes me scratch my head when I see a company grow revenue by 80-something% and almost double their bottom line. I sort of wonder, are investors just being unrealistic here?
I wouldn't say unrealistic, but they're too much of in a rush. In memory, you don't make money because you're selling more memory chips. You make money only if you sell more memory chips than you can manufacture. And so we are just coming out of a very deep cycle, down cycle in memory. And we have AI coming up, like driving very, very, very strong growth in demand for HBM chips. And so this demand from AI needs first to suck out, the overcapacity of existing fabs. And it takes time because it takes time to get these chips out. And once the fabs will be at full capacity, then we will see in the economics of Micron the full potential of AI for memory, which is very strong growth over limited capacity. Manufacturers have not been spending much on capex for the last 18 months. Mm-hmm. And that's where really the economic model of Micron is going to take a significant sharp turn. So I'm not surprised by the numbers today. I was expecting things like slightly below consensus in the near term. But I expect next year to look much better than what most analysts forecast for Micron. So it's just a game of being patient 1 or 2 more quarters.
You mentioned
2 or 3 more quarters.
Pierre, you mentioned the glut of memory chips that we had seen that Micron is just getting over. We know that Micron makes both DRAM, those memory chips, and high bandwidth memory chips. Are both products seeing upswings of the same kind? How do their trajectories compare with one another?
So it's a very good question. So DRAM was at a very, very low bottom 9 months ago. So we were just getting out of a trough. So the fabs, because of that, are underutilized. HBM is a very small percentage of the volume of the market. It's still single-digit percentage of the total, but it's growing through the roof. But HBM requires a different packaging for the memory chip. So it takes a bit of time to get that HBM capacity up and running. So you see HBM going through the roof from a very low base, and the mainstream DRAM product coming back cyclically at the same time. That's what we are seeing at the moment.
It's interesting, too. I mean, just some of the commentary. We're getting some additional commentary, Pierre, coming out of the slides here. Micron talking about how AI-driven demand is causing tightness on leading-edge nodes. It expects to see continued supply issues and says that those industry supply will be below demand going forward. And it also says, though, that it feels like it's going to be able to increase prices at least through the full year, the calendar year of 2024.
That's exactly in line with what I would be accepting. And so there is one thing that might confuse a bit investors at the moment is that you have supply constraint in HBM because it's difficult for these guys to ramp the packaging production lines. But you are not in undersupply yet for the die itself. And that's what's going to come in the next 2-3 quarters, and that's going to make Micron economics look way, way stronger than they are today.
Yeah. Pierre, final question to you very quickly. What do you want to hear from Micron on the conference call today?
I'd love to hear them talk about, how they see the increase in production capacity for the back end of HBM, for the packaging of HBM, so that it gives me good hints at when HBM is going to fill up the front-end fab, the one that is manufacturing the die. That's really the key. How fast can HBM ramp so that it can fill in the excess capacity of the main front-end fab? And that's when you will see margins like pricing shooting up across the board, not only in HBM, everywhere, and then gross margins going to new highs.